This is all about, of course, being gender equal here in the IBF World Championships. It's a mixed medal competition. The equality and, of course, the gender equal situation here in the World Bowling Championships is what we strive to achieve going forward, making everybody equal and giving everybody a fair chance to be involved in the World Championships under the banner of the IBF. Here he is, the man who is the current world #1 singles champion from a few nights ago here in Dubai. James Blomgren coming up for the Swedish team, and he's taking his position right now at the top of the lane. Now that's an unusual shot for James because we've seen the pins left on the outside edge, the 7 and the 10 pin there. Missing out for him there. There's our audience. We've just been having some fun with the audience up in the crowd here. And we are live from the Sports, Wellness and Fitness Hub here in Dubai. It is the home of sports and the home of sporting legends. Just a moment ago, we have had the unbelievable experience, and people here in Dubai, not only to see a fabulous semi-final for the men's, but we've just also another sports star has just turned up. The manager of Manchester City, Pep Guardiola, for anybody who's a soccer fan, has just been into and around the bowling area as well. He's popped his head in after seeing the Football Academy. So this is the home of stars, and of course the world's best are here bowling tonight. So we got the teams there, of course, looking for these super games that we're seeing tonight. And of course, it is all about bringing you some of the superstars of the future. So Jenny Wagner, Katja Wagner are part of the Swedish team. We've got Marcus Janssen, James Blomgren, of course, we just mentioned. Against their compatriots, Sweden 2, Jolene Plainfors, Sandra Andersson, Jesper Svensson, and William Svensson. They are, of course, the 8 players that are choosing from tonight. We've got a lot of Swedish supporters here tonight, and in fact, I've just, as I said, been up with the crowd in between the little break there, and we've had loads of the supporters who've actually been here for all 4 nights themselves, and of course, doing what they do best. So then the first lot of scores, of course, that we've got Sweden team Blomgren and Sweden team Svensson there, as we've called it here for this one. As I said, this is the inaugural situation where we will see these fabulous mixed teams taking place under the banner of the IBF World Championships in Dubai. Now the evening is hot and balmy, as you would expect in the middle of the desert. And of course, it also fabulously placed for a great set of matches here tonight, and it's been a great evening so far. Now, Sandra Andersson is the bowler coming up for Sweden right now. She was the lady who took a nasty tumble in her matches a couple of nights ago, twisting her left ankle, falling quite awkwardly, but coming back up to do some remarkable fitness training and some remarkable work on her ankle, sees her able to be fit and healthy for tonight's match. And it's a great honour to have her with us, of course. And also talking about great honours, Matt Cannizzaro, the comms manager for Team USA, is alongside me in the comms booth. Matt, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing all right. Looks like, well, last man standing, right? Everybody left, here I am, so.
No, well, AJ was here a moment ago. He's gone. He's excited about what's going to be happening later on in the tour. But no, listen, Matt, we had a great night last night. You are Mr. Statistics. You know pretty much everything about the history of bowling, pretty much. And if you don't know, you'll find out very quickly. This is what we like about you.
Well, we do have friends around the world. We do these events long enough. We have made friends all over. So we've been communicating. That little stat that we had about 300 that came from our man Terrence.
Yeah.
He does the Asian Bowling Federation. We've been doing scores with my guy Dom in England.
Great.
So we have this international global network of PR media bowling folks just tossing information. Marcus is in Sweden, probably watching this match right now, and he'll be checking in with some stats, I'm sure, as well.
Well, thank you, Marcus, as well. I hope you're enjoying it as well. You know, the way that these championships have unfolded, not only are we, of course, broadcasting around the world on various platforms on the Strike Cloud 360, the app, if you want to download that free of charge, you can see this virtual reality experience unfold like never before. You control the camera moves. You can look at 360 angles, brought to you by YBVR. We're seeing a first time, of course, the mixed teams event here tonight, and what do you make of this combination of the mixed teams and seeing it in this combination? This is the one that we're hoping, if it all goes well and the wind blows in the right direction, Matt, that we hopefully could see in Brisbane in 2032. It's a hopeful prospect, isn't it?
Definitely. Obviously, it incorporates both genders and makes things interesting and fun. And even talking to some of our players who are experiencing this for the first time, of course, it's a nice addition. It's a nice thing. Not even a novelty. We have some great players on both sides, and to be able to come together like this, which they normally wouldn't do.
Exactly.
You know, maybe they'll see each other at training camp or out at other events, but to be able to share this experience together, I think that's pretty awesome. And there's been some mixed events in the past, and they've come and gone, but to have it at the World Championships, certainly very special.
Well, you know, this is what we stand for. Of course, gender equal. Of course, this is the whole premise of it. It's the first time that this particular process has been processed here, and of course, you know, right from the grassroots here, what the IBF is standing for, and what we're trying to build into the future, is this, I suppose, process of togetherness and acting as one. It's not the best man or woman there are those obviously games, but it is a great way for people to combine together and show their world-class skills in this type of match form.
Well, and now you're looking right now at this Sweden team. Certainly, both sides super strong. Probably at the beginning of the week, it wouldn't have been a far-fetched guess to say that this group was going to be here.
Yeah.
And now guaranteed at least a silver medal, which is pretty awesome too.
Well, just to remind you, the next semi-final after this one, it's not Sweden and Sweden again, because they've literally had as much as we can get them onto the lanes tonight. But it's going to be Singapore and the USA. Tell us a little bit about the team members we're going to be seeing in the USA mixed team tonight, Matt. Who we like to line up with in your countrymen, as far as the bowling team are concerned.
Well, and I mentioned earlier, you know, Kelly Kulik was actually the one I talked to about this opportunity and something she has not experienced in her time with Team USA, and now to be able to do that, very cool. Missy Parkin, Jacob Bletchoff, and Chris Prather. These are all folks you've seen so far. I've seen them compete. You saw the ups and downs of the emotions for Prather, coming up short in doubles, and then, of course, winning the trios gold medal last night. And Jacob, his unique style, hopefully we'll get to take a little bit closer look at that as well, and just see just what he's able to do out there. And then Kelly's a timeless player. She won her first title in Abu Dhabi in 1999, so she's been here for a minute, and she's the veteran of the group for sure. And then Missy Parkin has been around for quite some years and able to pick up her first world championship last time in trios. So again, if you're going to pick two teams that were going to bowl for the title, and hopefully this happens, Sweden and USA, that would be an all-time classic right away.
Now, I've just been having a chat actually before this semi-final took place with Martin Larsson, who of course is a member of the Swedish team, but obviously has been injured quite seriously and is no longer able to play at the moment anyway. And Martin is strategic. You can see him there in his orange t-shirt there in the back right-hand side. And I asked him what he was doing, and he said he's spotting. And I said, spotting for what? And he said, obviously we've got both teams playing here tonight. I'm looking at the lane to see because one of the teams will obviously get to the final, which lane, if we win the toss, we would choose. So Martin Larsson is doing a technical spot for Team Sweden, as I'm sure you know, the US team and all the other teams do, but it's the first time I'd actually physically seen it happening. So that's a bit of a, you know, behind the scenes look as to what's happening here.
Well, it's not unusual in any event really to send the other coach or another player who's not competing at that moment to the next set of lanes that your team will be going to, because you want to see what kind of equipment they're using, what you know, how the lanes are reacting, to get a better idea, because technically you're going to go there without any practice or warm-up or anything, so you just bowl. But if you have an idea, you're always going to have to guess, where do I need to stand, what do I need to do to be successful on this pair of lanes? If you have some sort of intel it helps make that guess a little more educated and hopefully work out for you.
Now listen, it's been probably one heck of a 24 hours for you as the communications manager for Team USA after that amazing victory last night with the trios. How's it been in the US camp, and how's it gone down? Of course, you know, not all going to plan with what you'd hoped to win in the championships, but finally you bagged one, you got one on the board. How's it felt in the US camp over the last 24 hours?
Well, I would say we're at the expo here. The one thing missing is a roller coaster, right? And we're definitely feeling it with Team USA and the emotions and the ups and downs. We had the doubles upset and then the trios victory, and then earlier today, a huge upset for the men in the team event. Lost to Malaysia, 279-258. High-scoring match, nearly perfect, really, and nothing that we could have done. Pulled the best game that we could, came up short. So coming off the high of the trios, and then to experience that with the final event of the whole thing. So the ups and downs, but everybody's going to go home with some hardware. That's the important thing, and we got to celebrate the gold today.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
It. Now, of course, we were having a quick chat, and you might have heard in our early commentary, AJ Johnson came. He just can't get away from the comms booth now because he was here on a few nights ago. He's my new bowling buddy, as you are, of course, Matt. And I said to AJ, I said, what did you do with the gold medal last night? Did you put it under your pillow? Did you just stare at it for hours? And he said, I said, where is it now? And he leant to his right-hand side and pulled out the gold medal from his right-hand pocket of his shorts. And it's with him all the time. Listen, quite frankly, I'd be wearing it.
Well, I told him when we signed him up for being on the booth tonight that he better be wearing the gold medal and showing it off to everybody. And so he was being modest. He had it close by, but wasn't quite ready to start wearing it.
Good man. Well, AJ's going to be joining us in the comms booth hopefully a bit later on, and of course wearing his medal, and I'm sure we'll be able to get a shot of him sitting here as a world champion. There are world champions literally everywhere we look tonight. Of course, the men's singles world champion is here, James Blomgren. He's bowling for the other Swedish team. There are two teams of Sweden on there, as you can see if you are looking for the first time.
Well, and Jenny Wegner, we just saw her right there. She was the doubles champ in 2019 at the World Championships, and also a World Cup champion back in China not too long ago. So she's reached the top tier, and as of all these Swedish players, they really are the best of the best from Europe.
Now, just going to talk about, again, I mentioned weather and temperature in Dubai, and you talked about the humidity, or we've talked about the humidity. Tonight, for the first of the 4 nights, there's a little bit of a breeze coming through, Matt. A little bit of a wind coming out of the desert. It's not massively strong, but does any sort of wind, as you can feel it now, as sure as I can, is any sort of wind like that going to affect the bowling?
Other than the potential for blowing things onto the lanes, dust, dirt.
It's not going to buy a 15-pound bowling ball anyway.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to steer the ball off course at all.
Excuse me, that man's far too good looking to be on television. You can't have somebody that good looking on TV. Sorry. Throw him out, security. No, I'm joking. Welcome, sir. Right, there we go. Leaving the 10 pin there. Hopefully the spare. We've seen a couple on this left-hand lane tonight with what could be described as, I suppose, easy spares to take, being missed. Well, let's see what we see here from one of the Team Sweden teams. Giving the shoes a little bit of a wipe there. That might be some of the sand blowing in from the desert, some of the dust in the air. Not too much.
So now that we're figuring out who's who on each of these lanes, right? Every time we look up, Sweden's up. Well, of course.
Yeah, Sweden are definitely through to the final. Let's put it that way. I'm going to write that down now, because I've been guilty of calling it a little bit too early in some of these games, but definitely not on this one, Matt.
No, we saw a ton of strikes thrown in our last match, of course, the 299, but so far here, after the re-oil, not much happening in the strike department.
It's funny. I mean, do you think the re-oil has, is it the break in the game, or is it the quality of the players necessarily? I mean, that Korean score of 299 was blistering, wasn't it? I mean, I don't literally host a lot of bowling championships, and I've been to a few and seen a few, but that was something special, wasn't it, that bowling match?
It's always fun seeing the strikes, and the excitement, of course, coming down to the 300, and it's so rare to see it on TV. And for someone who's new to the sport, you know that is the pinnacle. That is what we're all here for.
Yeah.
To bowl 300, to see 300, and we got so close. Luckily, there's still time.
You know, there were 4 of us in the commentary position, and Matt was here, I was here, we had Dom Barrett was here, AJ was here, and we were all hushed into silence as another strike goes down for Team Sweden. So I'm just writing on my piece of paper for my commentary notes, Sweden into the final, but Singapore and USA to come up after this one. So for anybody like to get the feeling of where we are and what we're doing and how it is here in Dubai tonight, it's 7:45 in the evening. It's pitch black, the sun goes down pretty much every time, around about 6:30. Oh, hello. One of these ladies here, that lady there from Germany, she won a t-shirt in the competition earlier on. Lucky lady indeed. Looking great for a great night's bowling. So Matt, when are you guys due? When's Team USA due to leave the wonderful host city of Dubai? Have you got a plane out here tomorrow morning, or when's the Team USA flying out?
Well, hopefully we're flying out as quickly as this messenger came across the deck here for taking out the 10 pin. That was a phenomenal shot.
Amazing.
Nice break there. Perhaps the wind. No, just kidding. The wind didn't have anything to do with that. That was a terrific shot. But here come the strikes. A flurry of strikes. We're having all kinds of weather now.
Yeah, exactly. We've got strikes coming in. We've got maybe it's the lanes bedding in a little bit. You can see some of the oil is actually coming off the outside of the lane. And there is the current men's single world champion doing what he did the other night.
I will answer your question for sure once we see a score and see what's happening here.
Okay.
Get all caught up and
We'll get the scores on the doors as we like to do. Also, a couple of the teams will be flying out early morning. You know, literally in the early hours after these games of matches are finished. So we could have a Prospect World Championship medal run, and then they're off to the airport and back to whichever country they're coming from.
All right, here come the strikes now that we mentioned it.
You've brought in the strike gods, Matt. Look at that.
So they might name these lanes after James here once this event's over. He's thrown so many strikes here this week.
There we go. There's the scores on there. Matt Canizaro, the communications manager for Team USA, has not only been on the comms with me tonight and the other night, but has also been really helpful in the stats that he's provided and has a great workforce of information to pass on to hopefully all of you guys who are listening and watching with us here tonight. So what do we see there?
Yeah, looking at the numbers, even though Blumgren here is striking away, it's far too late for him and his team. They'll be in the 170s, and their opponents, their teammates, their friends, they're well ahead. So they have a max score of 232 here. So they're all set. Really, they're just going to show up here, close this one out. It's a 177 finish for James and company.
Well, yeah, exactly. Of course, even having the world champion in your team doesn't necessarily get you into the final. And of course, it's looking like that has not been the case, and that definitely is not going to be the case with that shot there. So we are looking at Team Svensson, the second of the Swedish teams, making their way through to the final.
Now this is a tough one because Jesper has been, I would say, far and away the best bowler all week long.
Yep.
And it would be a shame if he went home without a gold medal. But unfortunately, personally, I'd be sad to see him leave the mixed team event without one because I know where it's going.
Well, the crowd are acknowledging the fact that it is one of the last moments of this Team Sweden's play here in the IBF World Championships.
So we'll watch them close it out. And to answer your question for the Team USA flight plan here, I know there's a 5:30 shuttle for some of the players. So based on last night, it might be a close call getting back, getting packed after everything gets done here with the medals and such. But we have the para athletes still in town, so they're bowling the next couple days.
Okay.
And then our senior players are on their way. They're in the air right now. So for myself and Steven Padilla, we're here the whole way.
Okay.
So we'll be here till the 26th. With the rest of the crew, so we'll wrap up the pair tomorrow with the medals and such.
We're always going to get residency here in Dubai if we carry on like this, man. So there we have it.
5 days short of residency, as a matter of fact, if we had stayed.
So here it is, the match results for you here. Sweden with Team Blomgren 177 and Svensson 232. Not him on his own, but of course Team Svensson 232 taking them through to the final. Who will be joining them? We're going to find out next. Is it going to be Singapore or Team USA? Can they go on to match the trios from last night and win a gold medal? We're going to find out in just a few minutes here live from Expo 2020 Dubai.